Okay, this is live. Hold on just a minute. Let's see if I can share out the link. Share. There's the share button. Let's see. Oh, and there's more options. Hold on. All right. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I'm live for just a minute. For a last supper before Siberia. Before beef core Siberia. Hold on. Do this right. Come join me. Come join me. Can I do an exclamation mark? Not that. I can't. Maybe I can. Yes. Okay, hold on. Let me copy that. Select all. Copy. Post. That posted out. Let me try this again. Oh, hi, Ray. Hi, Reka. I'm good. Hold on. I won't be able to see anything for just a second while I'm sharing this. Let's see. Well, that's going off to Twitter land. It looks like it's still there. I'm live again. I think it took I think that caused it to take a break. Let me put this up against my helmet here and make my coffee. So I'm here at Denny's. Let me see if I can switch the camera. There. This is Denny's in Barstow. I'm trying a different Denny's out. This is the one by the outlet centers. It's breakfast, lunch, dinner, late night. I got this corner all to myself. My pack's right there. Got some fresh coffee. Helmet's all ready to go. Got my thingy there. So I am on my way to Siberia Ghost Town. See how, let me turn the comment thing on. I'm good, Reka. Thank you for asking. How are you? I hope all is well in your world. Oh, she brought me the right half and half. Isn't that sweet of her? Actually, I'm well, but I'm freezing cold. I've been making this particular video, pretty routinely now. Every time I go out to Siberia now, I stop here at Barstow to have what I'm calling my last supper. Getting ready for Thanksgiving. Me too. And it's kind of becoming a routine, so I typically get in here, turn on the camera, and then order my food, and then, talk about where I'm going to go before I get going. Under the Thanksgiving thing, Reka, I had plans for Thanksgiving, but those seem to have changed. See what's happening. I don't know. So this is a pretty big one that I'm doing tonight. I'm going to go to, here's the plan. So I'm going to go to Siberia Ghost Town, and it's cold. So I'm going to drink a lot of this coffee. I got to be sipping this stuff down. And then when I get to Siberia, it's going to be dark, of course. It's already dark, as you can see. See out there? The bike's parked right over there. You can't quite see it. So when I get there, it's going to be cold, and dark, and only a sliver of moon. So I'm going to need to work fast. I've got a routine. So basically, when I arrive, I pull in on the bike, and I'll make a video as I arrive. I always turn the camera on at Ludlow, and I've even got some theme music that I use. I always play the same music. I've got it all set up in a little playlist. Pop that on, and if you hear the music when I make the Let's Ride videos, the one that takes me to Siberia, that's the same music I listen to as I'm riding. And depending on how fast or slow I go, I might get there on time. Hi, Samantha. Welcome. So when I get to Siberia at night, you come in, you pull in, you kind of pull along Route 66. You just kind of know where it is. I've done it so many times now. It's hard to pick it out otherwise. There's a big tire next to the road there. but you can only see that tire if you're coming from the east westbound. So I'll be coming west eastbound, so I can't see the tire. So what I use to know that I'm almost there is, of course, I can kind of see gauge the railroad. If there's a moon out, there'll be enough of a moon for me to see it tonight, so I can kind of gauge where I am by the railroad. So what do you exactly do? Travel the States? No, I'll answer your question in just a second, Seeker. As I kind of swoop in, then the other landmark I have is I'll go over the riding bridge. And when I pass over the riding bridge, I know I'm about half a mile from the entrance to the Siberia Railroad, Siberia Road. And as I'll begin to slow down, of course there's no traffic. You know, fire up the auxiliary lights so I'll be able to see well, and then swing in at the dirt road, which is really kind of a tricky road because it's pretty slippery. I mean, but it's not hard. But I mean, I wouldn't want to drop the bike. And then just make it up to Ghost Town. Park the bike, pull out the flashlight, check around the ruins of the ghost town, make sure there's nothing there, nobody there. And then set up tent. So Seeker, you asked what I do? I know a lot of people have, or you know, some people have the impression that I do something, but this is my life. And that's as a result of the way that I upload videos. And I've had that misperception. Greetings from Finland. Hello, Dad John. Thank you, welcome. You know, it seems like I have a lot of friends in Finland, and basically in Northern Europe in general. And it's a pleasure. Thank you for joining me. So I was talking about the misperception that people have that this is all I do, and the same thing happened in Japan. And that's because I've had a long-standing routine for decades now that every other weekend. Is this my food coming? I didn't order fries like that. Every other weekend, I take one day and go adventuring in the wilderness. And if I can, I do that as an overnight. Ever since my family came back and joined me here in America, I've been able to do that as an overnight event. And that's because I work a normal job. I'm a project manager in an IT organization. I work for a government agency. And so I'm a total worker bee, day job type of guy. But I work a special shift that allows, instead of 8-hour days, I work 9-hour days, which means that every other Friday I have off. Now my wife and daughter don't have their every other Friday off, so that's my day. And so what I do is, on a Thursday night before that Friday, I will be all packed up. Again, I have everything in my backpack right there, and the helmet's right here, and gear on the bike. And after work, I just head on out. So I say goodnight, say bye to my family in the morning, and I head on out, and then I head out to the desert. I sleep in the desert, spend a day, and then get back. But while I'm out there, I make a lot of videos. You record like, you know, 10 videos, and I'll, you know, write down material for, you know, a blog and a number of different posts, and I'll compile all that stuff. I mean, I'll have it all in my cameras and my notebooks and and then when I get back, it takes me a while. I'll download it all from the various cameras. I have the GoPro here on top of the helmet here. It's my front-facing GoPro. This is the system that brings it on down, connects into the microphone that comes down here, swoops up here, wraps around, down, and this is a modular helmet, so it can open and close. And you might be able to see, if I open up my visor, that right there, that's the microphone, right there. And so I can talk at that. And then I also have this one over here. This is the rear-facing camera. So if you ever see the videos where I catch activity from the behind, that's that one going. And when I'm commuting, these are running all the time. This took a long time. This helmet is really a mini studio. It took me a lot of trial and effort to get this just right. I'm really pleased with it. So when I get home, I'll download all the video from the GoPro. I'll download all the video from my iPhone. And I'll download all the video from what I call the big camera. And I'll put them on the computer. And then in the evenings, after I get home from work, my wife doesn't get home until later. My daughter's doing her homework. And I'll edit the videos. And then I'll feed those out onto YouTube over the course of the succeeding 2 weeks from there. Oh, I think here comes my food. Maybe. I hope so. I'm hungry. Ah, it's not mine. Darn it. So the result is that it looks like this is all I'm doing, but I'm not. It's just every so often, that's all. Well, that's pretty much all I wanted. Oh, no, there was some more to say. So after I arrive at Siberia tonight, and it's funny that I'm not nervous. I should be. Sounds nice you ran into other people doing the same. How nice. Have you run into other people doing the same thing? Never. I'm straining to think if that's ever happened. One time I remember that happening, but I wasn't doing this. I used to be a teacher, and have you ever had to catch your own meal in the wild to get by? Nah, I never had to do that. I have caught, just for interest, when I was a teenager, I remember catching a rattlesnake once and eating it up, and I've eaten a lizard, and I've eaten grasshoppers. But it wasn't because I had to, it was because I wanted to, and those all happened when I was about 16 or so. Kind of an experimental mode. No, to your other question, have I ever run across others in the wild doing this? No. No, there was that one time. There was one time, it happened a couple of times when I was in Japan, and I wasn't doing it in this capacity. I was doing it as a teacher, and I would be out on hiking trails with my students. And yeah, you expect to run people doing that. Oh, great. Yeah, a little bit of warm-up. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it so much.
You're welcome.
There was one time here in the desert, but this was a long time ago. Let me put some more cream in my coffee. And I wasn't very remote, and I just saw a little mountain at the side of the road in the desert, and I stopped my car and climbed the mountain. I was stunned that there was somebody up there, and I think he was pretty stunned too. But otherwise, no. I not only in Japan, I never encountered anybody. Just farmers once in a while, but that would be before the adventure would start. That would be like on a farm road, I would see a farmer. But after I left, and I would always park the car and then leave the farm road and never see anybody in the mountains of Japan. No hikers, nothing. And that was to be expected, because Japanese people in particular tend to take the status quo, take what's the tried and the true and whatever is correct and sanctioned, you know, so to speak. I'm generalizing, but it's generally true. So they would be on the famous trails, where I would be hiking through some trail that connected two villages in the Meiji or Edo period, which hadn't been used forever, and I would just ask some farmers, you know, about where would the old trails be, and they would kind of look at me funny, and up that hill, up that mountain, but nobody goes up there. Be careful. But here in America, never would I see anybody. Like where I'm headed tonight, there's no chance. There's no chance that I'll see anybody out there, and there's probably no chance that anyone's been out there for decades, or maybe ever, even, or centuries, or even perhaps even ever. I expect the Native Americans have been out there, especially when it was a colder climate, when it was a wetter climate during the Pleistocene and stuff like that. Well, there's nothing. There's not even any evidence of. There's some places where you can see some Jeep tracks, but that's pretty closer in by Siberia. And even those Jeep tracks are from the lost time, you know, the 30s or the maybe in some places up into the 60s or the 70s in some really weird occasions, but not much. So anyway, so after let's continue the plan. So after I get into Siberia, I'll park the bike. The first thing I do, I even leave the engine running sometimes, is I'll take the pack off, you know, the pack's sitting right there, I'll just dump it, everything's in there, and I'll just dump that on the ground, and then I'll grab the flashlight out of the container, the holder that's right at the side. Have you ever encountered paranormal activities in your adventure? I'll answer that in just a question, seeker. And I'll just end a question in just a moment. So then I will make a kind of little trip around the perimeter of the ghost town, make sure that there's nobody there, you know, wouldn't want to find anybody there. And then, and if there are, then I'll move aside. I'll get out of there. And then I'll set up tent, and then I'll sleep tonight and be in good shape. And then what I plan to do tonight is get up at 2 or 3 a.m. I haven't quite decided, and start hiking. The pack's all ready to go. I just have to get up and leave the tent out, leave the bike out, and then my goal is Mount Wildness. This is an important hike. If I can make this hike, this will be basically the last hike that I want to make in my life. I mean, I'll make more, but I can basically die content if I can reach that elusive peak of Mount Wildness, which is not a real place. Figure that one out. So Seeker, you asked me about paranormal activity. There was one time when I was gosh, I must have been 14 or 15, that I reported seeing Bigfoot. Actually went back and reported it. The Bigfoot Society came out, and I took them on a hike up in the mountains to show them where the Bigfoot had crossed my tent in the middle of the night. I believe that story. Oh, here comes my food. Just a second. Hot dog. Woohoo! Great.
Did you say hot dog?
Yeah, well, I should say, I would say All-American Slam.
That's cute. My son says that too.
Does he? Oh, that's good.
Enjoy.
Thank you so much. There we go. I got a carb-heavy meal. This is the All-American Slam with the sourdough toast. It's got the cheddar eggs, sausage, and 2 slices of bacon. And this stuff slathered with the other stuff. And I told her to give me the works. Let me sit you guys right here while I have my head. Hopefully the sound is still decent. Hold on. So I told that story for here, I'll put it right there. It seems like I'm eating when I'm making these videos, huh? I told that story that I saw Bigfoot for 2 decades. I tell anybody, anytime anyone asks, have you ever seen anything paranormal or anything like that? Oh yeah, I sure did. I saw Bigfoot. And just to let you know, what I saw was in the middle of the night, and I wasn't alone. I was with a friend, and he and I we were in the San Gabriel Mountains, just hiking in the middle of nowhere. In the middle of the night, we had 2 tents, and in the middle of the night, something crossed. We heard something coming down the trail. It wasn't really a trail. It was just the side of the mountain. And whatever it was crossed in front of my tent, and the moon was out, and I saw the silhouette of it, and it looked like a man shambling by the tent. Sorry for my bad man eating, but I gotta fuel up. I'm finally starting to warm up. That's good. And the next morning, I talked to my friend, and we kind of did this. What was that thing? Did you hear that last night? I don't remember which of us started it. Did you see that thing? Did you see that thing? Did you hear that thing? And before long, within minutes, we had both concluded that we had both experienced something passing before our tents. And kind of, looking back, I think our imaginations run away, and I can still see that shambling shape in my mind. That Bigfoot. I can't get it out of my head. Which is interesting because I don't have any good reason to tell you why I believe it's crap. Wait a minute. Except the slight tinge of guilt that I remember. As I shared that story initially with my parents, who then shared it and eventually got to the Bigfoot Society, who sent some guy up with a gun, and I took him up there. And then in the immediate aftermath, every time I told the story, I felt guilty. I think think the reason I felt guilty was because I was making it up. And I knew that I was being dishonest. I knew I had allowed myself to own a tale that would gain me some momentary notoriety, a few minutes, a few hours, a few days, few decades actually of fame of sorts. Are you hoping to find something? Oh yes, please, thank you. Oh, that's hot, freshly warm.
Freshly made.
Yay.
And then if you like a dessert, let me know.
Oh, I will. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You're very nice. Let's see, read that comment. What was that? Let's see. Are you hoping to find something in the current outing, and do all journeys need to have something to find in order to give it a semblance of worth? That's a very good question. Hold on, there's two questions there. I'm going to come back to these questions in a second. I'll finish the story about the Bigfoot. Anyway, it was decades later that I would reflect on that story, and I kind of began to stop telling it, and I would think about, what was that guilt I felt? Pretty sure I made it up. I'm pretty sure that there's that youthful excitement and the feedback loop with my friend the next morning, and it had the impression of, making that memory hard and fast in my head. I can still see that figure, but I believe that was a lie. I don't believe there was any Bigfoot. Something did pass beside our tents. Probably a deer. Oh, I should ask for some water. The other time that I saw something was recorded in one of my Japanese videos in Japan. I think it's called the black thing or something, or like that. The black thing. There was the black orb thing that came through the forest at me in a bamboo. It was one of those trails I just mentioned, one of those abandoned trails, and I was up on the trail, and it was really dangerous, and it was because Japan used to have all these interconnected trails because back in the old days in the mountains there weren't highways and roads that connected the villages, it would flood out, so there was mountain trails that would connect one village to another, and I would find those and explore those, and this particular one had been all washed out by the edge of the cliff, so I went higher up into the bamboo forest. It was really steep, and I had stopped, and there was just bamboo everywhere, and as I stopped, this black orb shape came through the forest, like kind of bouncing, like almost like a pinball amongst the bamboo trees. It came up and got about 20 feet in front of me and stopped above a fallen bamboo. And I had the camera running at the time, and it captured my response at the whole time. I was like, what the hell? Because I was monologuing like I am now as that thing appeared. So it captured my response. And I still don't know what that was. That was the weirdest thing that I had ever seen. Hold on. See if I can see your messages again. Mode says, are you hoping to find something in your current outing? And do all your journeys need to have something to find in order to give it a semblance of worth? What a great question. Yeah, I do have a goal on this particular outing. That goal is to make it to a mountain that I call Mount Wildness. And to confuse things more, it's not a real place. It's something I made up in Japan. And if you read my book, Going Alone, Mount Wildness is a fictional destination that represents the edge of our fears, of where we're willing to go. And there's two sides of Mount Wildness, the near and the far side. The near is where we can actually approach. The far side is where something called the howling comes, and you don't want to go there. Because if you go there, you'll get back, but part of you won't come back. And I've been searching for Mount Wildness for decades, and I think I found it in the desert, and I'm going there tonight. That's my goal. And do I need to find something to find some semblance of worth? No, I don't need it. And that's a really interesting question about the worth thing, because that's the whole premise, or the whole point of the book Going Alone. Because the Going Alone, the book, the subtitle is Discovering a Universe Without Meaning. And then the second book is going to be The Good Life, which is creating a life full of meaning. So it's two sides of a coin. There's another question there. Hold on. Ba-boom. Something new. Samantha asks, are you going to do a mountain video like when you first returned to America? You found aircraft wrecks up there. I don't think so. I don't have any plans to go anywhere other than Siberia. Sorry. There's too much work to do out there. Sorry, I have to promote my website, formulaforworldpeace.com. Yeah, have at it. Formulaforworldpeace.com. Woohoo! I like. It sounds like an ambitious title. Cheers. Good luck and safe on your adventure logging out. Okay, bye, Seeker. Maud says, thanks for the answer, Kurt. Have fun. Looking forward to future updates. Thanks for joining me. So, 2 a.m. or 3 a.m., depending on how tired I am. You're welcome. I'll be up, hoist the pack, off I go. By dawn, I should be at the, what's the place I call the Cold Gate? Simply a break and Rhyolite Dike. For breakfast there. Hopefully by 8 a.m. I'll make it to Mount Wildness. It's gonna be scary. I'd be a liar if I told you I wasn't scared. I got my emergency beacon, so I'll be okay. And with that, I think I'm gonna sign off. I'm starting to warm up, but I need to eat fast, finish this, and get on the road. Talk to you guys later. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for having dinner with me. Bye-bye.